How is it going, everyone? Welcome to Chasing Sound Live, episode number 11. On a different day, different time, but I didn't want to go without doing an episode, Since they're bi-weekly, I figured I got to get one in before Thanksgiving. So here we are at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Go figure. But yeah, thank you for joining me, or thank you for joining me in the replay. Really excited to do another episode here. Can't believe we're at 11 episodes. Seems like time has flown by, and I feel like I started these just yesterday, really, to be honest. But yeah, excited to be doing another one, and so much cool stuff has changed in the last couple weeks. Going to be doing like a small lesson later on today. In this live stream. Don't think we have a huge one today. It'll probably be a shorter one, but I finally have my Fractal FM3 hooked up. So bear with me as I get my setup going, because I'm still working out all the kinks out. I'm using that into my Focusrite interface. I got my Rode mic right here, just trying to see how it works. If it still sounds good, let me know. And later on, if I play guitar and you hear it, let me know if it sounds all right. I've been doing a little bit of testing. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who helped out get me this Fractal FM3. Really a couple cool donations, and I really appreciate that from some of the people in the community. Not to mention, I was able to sell my Fractal AX8, which was great. Sold it on Reverb for a good amount of money, and then out of nowhere, Fractal started doing a sale on the FM3s for $9.99. So if you're looking to get one of these machines, if you're looking to have a really, really cool amp modeler, effects modeler that's portable, right now they're $9.99, which as far as I'm concerned, is a fantastic deal. I've been playing with mine like crazy. I nerded out, and I ordered some magnetic plexiglass for the top and the bottom screens. It kind of goes over the whole thing. Waiting for that to come in, but yeah, I'm really looking for that to come in, so it keeps it safe, because they have nicer screens than on the older machines on the AX8. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing videos on it if that's something that you would like to see. I know I like to see it, even if I don't own the unit. Jonathan Cordy does a lot of stuff with Fractal. He does a lot of stuff with the Line 6 stuff. I've seen some people do some stuff on Kemper. I haven't seen too much Kemper stuff lately, but I definitely want to do some stuff on this FM3. Hi, John. Thanks for joining. You're the man. Says, got me during my afternoon practice session. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited to do some videos on this FM3. I've been getting through a lot of the patches. I'll show you guys a couple of the patches when we do this pentatonic stuff in a little bit. But wow, it's really cool. I mean, there's some stuff on there that I'm surprised fits the sounds that fit in this machine. Blow my mind. Something I was just checking out just during dinner before was the latest episode of No Guitar is Safe. Just kind of random. Just wanted to throw this in here. But this is a podcast where I don't know if they have the episode number here. I know. Oh, yeah, there we go. 145. I've probably listened to the majority of these 145 since episode 1, where Jude Gold, who works for Guitar Player magazine, has had Joe Satriani on. And, I didn't know who this guitar player was, who he had on this week, but it's Jim Chemo West. And apparently he's the Weird Al Yankovic guitarist. And I'm about close to an hour in. They go for about an hour 40, it looks like. And already it's really, really cool stuff. The stories he has are amazing. He talks a lot about Hawaiian guitar. And he has plays a couple beautiful guitars, like he's playing a Taylor a lot at the beginning, and he has some device on there, almost makes it sound like a B-bender, but on multiple strings. And wow, he uses a lot of different tunings. Go check this episode out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Jude Gold's podcast is always phenomenal, but this is one of my favorite things of the week so far. I love listening to this podcast. I listened to quite a few. Maybe we'll talk about them on another live stream. But yeah, go check out No Guitar is Safe. One of the best guitar podcasts out there. And Jude Gold's pretty cool as well. He does a slap guitar book, which if you ever want to get into something very different, and you want to, play, maybe you play funk, or you just want to do something very, very different with the guitar, go check out his book. It is on Amazon, Slap Guitar. But yeah, I think that's it at the top here. Since I'm not doing this on a Saturday, I have 2 weeks worth of links to share with you right now. Some of my favorite stuff from the newsletter from Sunday and the Sunday before that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a newsletter this Sunday as well. I got to see if I might take a little break, but I'm sure I'll have a lot of stuff to send out to you guys. So let's kind of get right into it, because I want to get my guitar stuff going, but I have a lot of stories to share with you as well. So this is from 2 weeks ago, where Chris Sherland, who I am actually subscribed to his Patreon tier, which is called The Studio, which has been phenomenal. He showed up on Marty Music's channel, who has 3 million subscribers right now on YouTube, which is super cool. Chris Sherland is a great guitar player. Even if you don't join his Patreon, go check out Chris's and Marty's channels. Definitely Chris Sherland, because Chris has all stuff on music theory for guitar, and it's phenomenal. In this simple lesson, he talks all about the major scale. And, I've talked about it so many times here. As you can see, he has a very awesome Jimi Hendrix poster on the wall. And a lot of cool guitars too, if you watch his channel a little bit. A lot of cool guitars. But yeah, if you watch Chris's channel, this video in particular is about the major scale, its numbering, and if you're not aware with what that means, actually we're going to go over it a little bit in the pentatonic lesson in a little bit. It's really important to know, because the major scale is really the home base of everything else when it comes to theory, whether it be chords, whether it be other scales. Major scale is really, really important, and I just love how Chris teaches stuff on his channel. He has a really good video on octaves also that I was watching the other night, where he talks about, how to find notes. He has a really cool exercise on how to find notes all over the fretboard, where, you do that trick. I think I talked about it on a past stream, where, like, let's say you start on the 3rd fret of the low E as a G, and then the 5th fret of the D string, it's an octave. And then if you go from there, a couple frets up, you have another G, and so on and so on. And you can keep on finding these target notes all throughout the fretboard. Just the way he even explains that, as a teacher myself, who has taught students, you just like to see how other people teach, and then you might get a whole new perspective. And that's definitely what I've been seeing with Chris. But yeah, go check that out. Go check out Marty Music, and Marty Music's channel is all about, learning songs and everything too. So if you ever want to learn a song, I'm sure he has done it. It's kind of similar to like Justin Guitar. Next up, I have a really good video from Uncle Ben Eller over here. Not only is he playing a sick guitar here, it's a Dunnable guitar, which is amazing, but he also is teaching us a really, really cool thing about stealing licks, stealing phrases. So the thing about this video is that he kind of rips on a Arch Enemy riff in D minor, and he takes that and he turns it into this whole new pentatonic riff that is his own. So, I mean, I can link to Ben probably every week because he's putting out good content. But the cool thing about this is that he takes this Arch Enemy riff, and he, not only he doesn't just take the riff, but he takes the phrasing of the riff and turns it into this really good practice element. So, it's a good pentatonic warm up. As like I said, we're going to do pentatonics in a little bit. So check this out and see what he does. As they say, and as Ben says here too, the best artists steal, right? So, I think Clapton has said something similar as well, that it's really important to make riffs your own. So, with that being said, I have another cool thing that I was linking to last week. 10 ways to level up your pentatonic playing. As you can see, everything is connected on today's live stream. I really like this. I mean, listen, again, I understand doing a video on the pentatonics at this point, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes people are they're worn out on it, but for me, I mean, it's one of the scales that really got me excited about the guitar and that I still use constantly every single day. This is a great video, great article from Guitar World where they talk about 10 riffs, I think it is, from Zach Wilde, Tom Morello, Kirk Hammett, one of my favorite players. And this is going to be good to come back to when we talk about pentatonics in a minute, but it's all the pentatonic minor shapes and their shapes in E minor. And then you can check out all these different riffs. So here's something for Tom Morello. There's something that's Jimmy Page inspired, something from Kirk Hammett, some really cool stuff for soul, which is amazing. These soul style dyads. And what you can do is you can just click this and it gives you a full tab version. And then it also has the audio as well. So the audio is on SoundCloud. You can check out the riffs nice and close up, very clean. Some Eddie Van Halen stuff, Zach Wilde, major and minor pentatonic. One of the coolest things that you can do is combine major and minor pentatonic effectively. Here's a blues fusion lick. So as I always say, I don't like the ads on Guitar World side. I think they're too much, but I really do like this. I do like these riffs, and it kind of riffs on what Ben was saying that, yeah, and John's saying, yeah, love that the soul dyads, nothing like some double slap slides. They're just really effective, and they're an easy way to add some great stuff to your playing. Even if you do like a little bar with your ring finger or your index finger, they're really helpful. The cool thing about this is that, you can take these, like especially this one I was playing the other day, where it's one lick in 3 different octaves. The cool thing about these are that you can learn them, and again, like Ben was saying, make them your own and try to not rip on them entirely, but change things up, change a couple notes, change the technique. In this riff, you have a lot of hammer-ons and slides. You can totally do something else like pull-offs and everything and so on. Change the notes backwards. There's so many things you can do. So yeah, Guitar World is always doing a good job with these type of lessons, and I like them because they're easy, they're bite size, and you can just kind of make those things your own. We had another video from Samurai Guitarist. I like this video for a couple reasons. Number one, he goes through all his different guitars. Like you can see, he has a Paoletti guitar here, awesome, an Epiphone. But the coolest thing about this, and I mean, again, it's kind of cool and it's kind of funny, is that from some of these guitars, from guitar to guitar, I didn't hear a huge difference. And I mean, I'm been a guitar player for a long time, been an audio engineer for a very long time. It's kind of funny, how some of this stuff, you can't tell a difference, right? I don't know what you guys think about tone woods and if it makes a big difference. I actually have a funny story from when I went to the Fender factory that I was telling in our Discord the other day, where I met a guy who was the husband of one of the people I work with, and he took me through the whole factory after hours. It was really awesome, and he was mentioning that he's done everything in the factory other than paint the guitars. He's made pickup machines, he's done all sorts of things, and he's saying that he thought a lot of the tone was in the pickups, and not so much the tone wood. So, I kind of believe him a little bit sometimes, but I've also had some guitars where like the wood of the neck and the wood of the body are just right. Steve Vai had said something similar where the certain resonancy of how the wood is interacting with each other just feels right. There's been a couple guitars in my life that I've come across where I'm like, man, this is really something special. And yeah, I think this is a kind of an interesting video to watch to see if you can hear the difference between some of the guitars. Of course, a Tele and a Jazz Box, of course they're going to sound different. He has this very ugly upside down V. It's going to sound different, right? Different pickups, but I would love to know your thoughts. What do you think? Is tone wood a joke? Is that for actual tone? Do you believe the tone is more in the pickups? Do you believe it's more in the amp, the fingers? Look at this hockey stick guitar combining two of my loves, guitar and hockey. You'll love to see it. But yeah, that's from Samurai Guitarist. Go check that out. And then from Sunday's videos and stuff I linked to, I linked to this awesome video from Tyler at Music is Win, where he was talking about, what does it really sound to crank your amp up to 10? As you can see here, he's playing his number one guitar that he's played for a long time. What do you guys do? I shouldn't be talking because today I'm using the Fractal, but a lot of times when I was playing my Mesa that I haven't had to use very often now because of COVID and everything, but I was playing it at like 2 or 3 or 4. I never cranked it up to 10. I feel like you would just abuse the tubes and I'd run out of tubes really quick if I just did that for all the shows that I had played in my life. It's here's what John's saying. I like to think of it as percentages. Yeah, that's a really good way to think of it. Pickups probably affect the tone more than the wood. When I'm playing when I'm playing even like a maple neck versus a rosewood, it's a big difference. And how the guitar is set up, and is there finish on the back of the neck? All that stuff makes a big difference. My first guitar was a Squire. I still have. It's one of the most beautiful necks just because it's been played to death at this point, and it feels good. So yeah, I think these two videos were kind of cool back to back. Go check it out. See what he does with cranking stuff up to 10, and see if you think it sounds better than when he has it at like 1, 2, or 5 and 6 on the master volume. But yeah, always good stuff from Tyler. I like watching his videos. Got a video from Artistworks and Jared James Nichols in this week's newsletter that just went out. And he's talking all about vibrato. You can see here he's using his Gold Glory version of his Epiphone Signature model, which is very, very cool. To be totally honest, I've tried this guitar at a Sam Ash, the Old Glory version, the black finish version, and I wasn't impressed. But with that being said, I've said it millions of times. I've seen Jared open up for John 5, and he stole the show. If you haven't checked out Jared's music, he's a fantastic blues rock guitar player, and man, can he play. He plays all with fingers, as you can see on his right hand. Doesn't use a pick, and his tone is fantastic. So this is all about vibrato, different types of vibrato. He talks about different players and how you can instantly tell who somebody is by their vibrato, and I totally believe that. That's some way that you can make a real imprint on your sound. Make your notes sing, and really just make your notes sound a lot more vocal than just playing them straight. So that's a great video. I loved him doing that. I was happy he did that. I like to see more of him because I always, since seeing him with John 5, I wanted to see more of his stuff, and I really enjoy his albums. Talking about gear, first of all, you gotta check out this wild video that happens when you type in Fender Acoustasonic. This came up before the Fender store page. I mean, it's kind of wild. It also kind of makes my computer's fans spin up a little bit because it's so graphically intensive. But the reason why I'm talking about this guitar at all right now is because it seems like everyone is doing an Acoustasonic review. Let me close this tab because I don't want it to have my computer crap out. But this over the last 2 weeks, they came out with the Acoustasonic player Telecaster. So biggest difference here is financially, money-wise, right? Because the regular Acoustasonic is about $2,000, and this one is $1,200. Was watching a lot of videos on this, and they said one of the biggest changes was not the wood itself or how it looks. I mean, I think it's a wild look on a lot of these guitars. I'm not sure if I think they're ugly or nice. Some of them I like more than others, the finishes, but what has changed is that it does not have the body sensor, as far as I know. It just has the piezo pickup. So that's changed, but they said otherwise, not much has changed. So if you're really looking, I think that was one of the biggest gripes for people, that they thought the guitar was cool. They wanted something that can do electric and acoustic, but they didn't want to pay that $2,000 or above price tag for it. I actually played the Strat version, the more expensive version of the Strat Acoustasonic, and I was ready to hate it. I'm like, this is such a weird guitar, and I guess I'm in the minority because they were saying that a lot of these guitars sold out right away, and they were very hard to get. One of the students I teach had the Acoustasonic, and it was very cool. It felt like an electric acoustic, but it was something that you could, of course, play on its own or plug in, and it actually sounds like an acoustic. But it had a lot of the mid-range punch to the notes and the clarity to the notes that I like. So, while I don't love the design of it and I don't like how it looks all the time, it is really versatile. So check it out. And if you have checked this guitar out or the more expensive version, let me know what you think and what you think if this guitar is going to last. It seems like it will. And then finally, from last week, I don't think I put this in the newsletter, but I did discuss it in our Discord. We got news here from Ernie Ball, and Ernie Ball's, I think it was the vice president or somebody. I'm not sure, but the news was given to Phil McKnight first on YouTube by Petrucci, and then they backed it up on Forbes to say that John Petrucci's Ernie Ball Majesty is the second highest selling signature guitar on the planet. I really wanted to talk to you guys about this. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. They're saying it's second to the Gibson Les Paul, which I never really thought of as a signature guitar, but if you really do think about it, it is. It is Les Paul's signature. I mean, what's the second place for that? Millions of guitars. I was also surprised. I couldn't really believe it because, you have guitars out there. Like, I'm thinking of the biggest people who have signature guitars, like a Kirk Hammett or a James Hetfield, who've been around for forever. Or you have Steve Vai's Gem, Joe Satriani's signature guitar. I find this hard to believe. I know Dream Theater is big in the prog scene. I love Dream Theater, love John Petrucci's work, but I don't know what to think about this article. Go check out this episode with Phil McKnight and Know Your Gear. And just let me know what you think. I thought it's a little wild. So anyway, that's everything that's been going on with the newsletter in the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm probably going to take a small break for this week's newsletter and just send out links and maybe not comment on them, just to give myself a little break. But I am looking to do a full one, getting back into the holidays. And I have so much cool stuff that I want to add to Chasing Sound. I really miss getting back into, writing full-length articles. Man, for years, I had so many articles I was doing really nice. And then I just got so busy and I wasn't able to find the time. So I've been doing, I think I talked about this on one of the earlier live streams. I've been doing a lot of time tracking, and for sure, there's times in there where, I'm watching Netflix and I'm like, oh man, is this the best use of my time? Probably not. So in the new year, I'm really looking to get back to Chasing Sound full force, not only doing these live streams, not only keeping up with the newsletter, but really getting back to the website. I would like to do interviews on here at some point, maybe get some more eyeballs on the YouTube channel. One thing that worked for me a lot, I just love anyone who watches these videos. I appreciate you guys so much. But one thing that worked to actually get a couple more subscribers for the channel was when I was doing that lick every day in August. Got a handful of subscribers from that, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So now that I have my new Fractal, that also sparked me up to try to do some more videos. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to going full force on Chasing Sound in the new year. So for you guys that have been here for years, awesome. For you guys that have been here for the last couple of years, in the Discord and everything, I really appreciate you. So, all right, let me just go grab my guitar and we'll talk all about pentatonic stuff, all right? I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So first and foremost, I am playing my Orange Crush Charvel. that's one of the things also that I really want to get going this this new year, is that I have a DSLR. I'm using my iPhone as a camera, but I have my DSLR. I want to also get another camera that focuses specifically on the guitar neck, because this is a little wonky. Either I have a nice view here, or I don't have a nicer view of the neck, but I think we have a nice view of the neck for what it's worth, that we can see the fretboard for our purposes today. But in the future, I would like to have a double camera setup. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm using my Charvel, my trusty Charvel. I love this damn guitar. And orange everything, of course. Orange the guitar, orange the strap, which is a soldier strap. I'm using the Fractal today, the FM3. I've been going through a lot of different models and just to see what I like. Right now, I'm using a Cameron model, which according to their wiki is a Cameron CCV 100 amp, which is a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool scenes for this amp. And I'm using a Honey pick, which is a really cool pick, has a really cool shape, 2mm. These guys are on Etsy. Go check them out. Let me see if I could share that too. They're on Etsy. This is the pick that I'm using. Couple, more money than I'm used to, but I like these picks. I like Red Bear. They got a lot of cool shapes depending on what you're into. Go check them out. I just love these indie pick makers. They're so cool. This is the one that I have, the Queen Bee, and then you can select the size. If you go back, let's see. If you go back, you can see that he has all sorts of different materials, acrylics, and it's really cool. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Jim Dunlop Big Jazzes. I'm a big fan of Red Bear because I just think the people there are so cool and their picks last forever. This is kind of like mid-range, right? Where it has, it's a couple bucks. It's really held up, and it's a very unique shape. So go check them out and say Chasing Sound sent you. All right, so let's talk about pentatonic stuff. I think, like we were talking before about Chris Sherland and the major scale and understanding that stuff. I mean, most people come to the pentatonic. Actually, let's see. Can you hear my guitar first and foremost? If you can hear my guitar and it's not too loud, please let me know in the chat. I think it's important to only, thanks John. I think it's important not only to know the boxes behind the shapes, but really understand the theory behind what you're playing. And I know John's in the chat right now. I know I'm very envious not only of all the shows you've been going to lately, John, but of also all your good work with solo and Corey Wong's course and all that. It's amazing. You're practicing more than me, and you're awesome. But a lot of people come to the pentatonic boxes and they start if we're talking about G minor pentatonic, you have that shape where it's just 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-4, 1-4. Right? I mean, I'm not breaking any new ground here. That's the minor pentatonic box, and of course you can play the major if you do this shape. Let's actually take a look. Let's actually take a look at the boxes from this Guitar World thing that I was showing you. So yeah, a lot of the people get into the pentatonic, of course, with this shape. Many people just get on with these 5 notes up and down the neck, right? But it's important to know all 5 of these shapes. And the reason that that's cool is because you can move up and down the whole neck and really link the patterns together. One of the coolest things about the pentatonic is that your pinky or your ring finger is always the beginning note of the next pattern, right? So if you have this pattern where it's 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, right? Where your pinky is here is where you can place your second finger for the next pattern. And then again, same thing. Your pinky, right? So the cool thing is that all these patterns are connected. You don't have to think like some other patterns. Like let's talk about the major scale, the Ionian, where you have, if you're using something like 3 notes per string, like this, you have that shift, right? So you got to think a little bit more where. So you have that shift, but with the pentatonics, it's a little easier to visualize because once you know those 5 patterns, again, they're all connected. They're all connected, and you don't have to worry about where you are on the neck too much. Of course, certain patterns are going to be easier to visualize than others, depending on where, if you have side dots here, where the patterns fall on the neck. But it's important to understand, that they link up. I think it's one of the biggest hacks for pentatonic. The other biggest hack is what I said at the beginning here. If you want to do a minor pentatonic, you take your index finger and you start on let's say you want to do G minor, start on the G. Again, important to know where all the notes are on the fretboard. So you play that pattern. 1 4 1 3 1 3. Again, you can find all these patterns online. We're not talking about that today. But if you want to do the major, you would take your middle finger and you would play this other box, which is, in terms of fingers, 2 4 1 4 1 4 1 3 2 4 2 4. And then in major, your 12th position pattern would be the minor pattern, if that makes sense. I know it's a little hard to see that, but again, get those 5 boxes down first, and I think you'll be well on your way to doing cool solos. We talk about guys like, in this pentatonic, level up your pentatonic playing article, where you have guys like Zach Wilde, Tom Morello, Kirk Hammett, guys like Slash that live in these pentatonic boxes. They add in a couple chromatic notes, but pentatonics are so powerful. So again, the box things are important, right? But if you have something like a G major scale, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the root note again. I think the most important thing there is to understand, how are these scales comprised? What's their formulas, right? So let's talk about the major scale, the major pentatonic. You have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6. So you're taking a couple notes out of there, right? That's gone. That's gone as well, right? And you just have your 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. If you're talking about the minor, right? And it's important to understand what's the major scale formula, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and what's the minor scale formula, and what notes are flatted, right? So the minor would be 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. The most important thing about that, and I'm still working on this myself, and I know, a couple of people in our Discord are working on this too, is that when you're wanting to combine the major and the minor, people are like, how the heck am I going to combine a major and a minor scale? Like, a lot of these notes don't work. You're right. A lot of the notes don't always work, but it really depends on the progression, right? Like you're looking at the chords that make up your progression, and then you're trying to see what notes are common between the two. So if I'm looking at, I wrote the formulas down just to keep them in my head, because I'm a box player as well. I like to play box shapes, but more and more I'm trying to think about, again, what notes am I playing here? Even if I've been playing them for years, decades at this point. So the 1 is the same, right? So in between G major and G minor pentatonic, G is still the same. The thing that makes it minor is that flat third. So of course, the flat third is a little weird, but you can actually have the flat third in there, and that's why a lot of people bend up that flat third to a regular third in the major pentatonic. Also, you have the 5, right? So these are notes that are common between both the major and the minor scale. If you don't know what the major scale patterns are, right? Let's think about it. Let's think about the regular major scale across one string, starting with G. It is whole, half in terms of steps, whole, half, right? So how does that work? You have G to A, that's a whole step. A to B, that's a whole. Half, C, whole, whole to F sharp, which is part of G, and then half again, which is G again, right? So knowing just that small pattern will allow you to understand, not only the major scale, which I told you is the roadmap to everything, but also, what does 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 even mean, right? Well, it's G, it's A, it's all these notes that come from the major scale minus a few. And if you talk about something like the blues scale, then you have a 1, you have the flat 3, you have 4, flat 5, 5, and flat 7. Right. For some people, they would do something like this rather than doing just your standard 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. You might add a couple extra notes in like this. Right. So it's cool. It's cool to add those chromatic notes in. And I think the other thing that a lot of amateurish players play, right, and I've been doing this as well in the past, is that they don't know always where to bend. So I think practicing your bends in the pentatonic scale are very important, right? So if you start on the, let's say we're in G again. If you try to bend this, it's a little wacky, right? Like there's a lot of ways to go before you get to the next note, which would be this, right? But if you talk about something like, when you're up here on the 5th fret of the G, and you go, adding those extra notes in or bending up to those notes is very cool. Just practicing that. I mean, again, we're working with 5 notes here, right? But you're just playing them twice up the neck, and just practice the heck out of these box shapes, and then go to the theory. I think something cool to do is not only practice the box shape, understand what notes that you're playing and how they pertain to the chord structure that you're doing, the chord layout, and then also know the intervals from where you're going. Is this a minor third? Is this a major third? What am I doing here? John is saying here, as you start to get the pentatonic on your fingers, you also learn the part of the relative major minor scales. 100%, right? And we're not doing anything crazy here, right? We're just taking stuff away from major and minor to make these smaller 5-note scales. The blues scale is nice, but even if you think about something like a mode, right? Like people love the Mixolydian mode. I'm still trying to get it under my fingers and apply it. Mixolydian is everything plus the flat 7, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're adding a couple notes to the scales that we just played. The other thing I like doing, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know how I feel about 2 notes per string. I'm more of a 3-note per string person. What you can do is some of these are a harder stretch. Let's say we're in A minor pentatonic, so we're starting on the 5th fret and then going to the A, right? Instead of stretching, it's a big stretch for me at least. You can do a 3-note per string pentatonic, combining the 2 boxes. What I like to do is, I've been working a lot on Chris Brooks's alternate picking book. The cool thing about this is that you can go down, up, and then down on the down on the low E string, and have a slide in there. So you don't have to stretch your hands as much. You do down, up on the 8th fret, and then slide up with your pinky, and then you're actually also in a really good spot to play the next pattern. But if you want to do a couple different slides, you would do something like this. Oh. Right? It depends on what finger is comfortable for you. But doing those slides, I think, is really important, and you can make bigger boxes. Now, the one thing that you do have to worry about there is if you are doing alternate picking, so like is down, up, down, is that your pick will get stuck in between the strings. So what you could do is you can go down, up, down, and apply some economy picking and just do another downstroke, right? So down, up, down, down, up. You're always trying to, if you ever see something like Troy Grady's Cracking the Code, or even a lot of these Chris Brooks books, they're always talking about different type of picking mechanics. Again, it's great to just sit down and rip on pentatonics. I mean, it's one of the most fun things to do in the world. I've been doing it for years, but I think it's important to, again, give yourself time in your practice schedule to work on the actual theory about what you're playing, and try to work stuff out in advance, because that's what we're doing at home, right? We're trying to work out the things in advance that we might be doing at a gig, where you see these players at gigs and you're like, oh my God, seems like they're pulling notes from nowhere, and they're always hitting the right notes. I mean, the reason they're doing that is because they're hitting the right notes on the chord changes. They're hitting target notes. So that's why it's so important to know what notes that you're playing, so that you can go wild, right? You can go wild and hit all sorts of different notes, but you also want to know where those target notes are in the patterns, so that as the chord progression goes around, you can hit them at the right time. And again, something I've been working on a lot this year, and I will be working on it a lot next year as well, is those target notes, to try to make things sound like, man, this person's always playing the right note in the right place, a la somebody like Guthrie Govan, Josh Smith, Joe Bonamassa, all these great players that seem like they have a never-ending, endless things of licks, and they're always hitting the right note in the right spot. So yeah, I'm not doing a basic pentatonic scale thing today. Some of the stuff was basic, but just wanted to go over some of the stuff I've been doing for the last 10, 15 years with the pentatonics, maybe even more than that, and just see your thoughts on it. Have you been using pentatonic scales? Do you use one box? Do you use all five? What are you really into? That's what I've been doing, and I plan on doing some more lessons on the pentatonics down the road, probably in December or January, just to show off some cool licks. There's a lot of pentatonic licks on my TikTok, on my Instagram, when I was doing that lick every day in August, like I mentioned before. You can go check that out. A lot of that stuff is pentatonics, but the fun thing is that after you learn the pentatonic boxes, is that you always want to try to do something different. You, again, add a chromatic note here and there. You maybe play a little bit of Mixolydian and mashed up with major blues, minor blues. You try the blues scale itself, where you have those extra numbers. But if you ever have any questions, join our Discord. It's the link to sign up is right on the website, chasingsound.com, which you can check out. Oh, I can't hit the right buttons today, guys. But go to chasingsound.com. A link to the Discord is over there. And, I'm in there every single day. A lot of cool people are in there every day. If you ever have a guitar question about gear, theory, music recommendations, anything, feel free to stop in and join. Or you can email me, brian@chasingsound.com is my email. Or you can hit me up on every social media, which other than YouTube, where you're watching this, I am Chasing Sound everywhere. On YouTube, I am Chasing Sound Vids. But yeah, Chasing Sound everywhere on all the socials. And just love talking guitar, like all of you guys, I am still always learning all the time, and trying to get better every single day with this type of stuff. And I think, signing into the Discord is totally free, and I think the more the merrier there. If we all learn together and we ask each other questions, I think it makes learning a lot more fun. We talk about all sorts of different things, courses that we're taking, like what people's guitar courses are cool, what are worth it and what's not worth it. So the more people you have for that, the better it is, the better the recommendations are. So come join us in there, and I will see you in a couple weeks. I'll see you in the newsletter this Sunday, and I will see you in a couple weeks on the live stream. Really looking forward to doing another one of these Thank you for checking this out if you're in the live chat, or thank you if you are watching this on the replay. And if you are in the States, I hope you have a really happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you in December. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you guys soon.